then I see these ex-gurus, Twitter gurus. I think I'm doing this live on Twitter as well. But so I have a few words for those Twitter gurus who do chopsticks on stocks like treasury asset companies like BMNR and SBET and things like that, right? Folks, I have a small channel. I mean, I'm sure there are people who have a lot larger following on X or YouTube or whatever. You guys need to use this a little bit, okay? Drawing wedges and support and resistance lines on BMNR, for example. Because my feed on X is full of BMNR. It's breaking out, it's doing this, MACD is turning up and this and that. You folks need to get serious about this, okay? You can't technically analyze these stocks because these stocks don't move on their own. They're not Nvidia, they're not Amazon, they're not Google. They don't have a business. The business they're in is accumulate Ethereum or Bitcoin or Solana. That's why they're called treasury asset companies. The treasury asset companies do nothing but accumulate Bitcoin, Solana, or Ethereum. The famous one, obviously, now is BMNR, right? Bitmine Immersion by Tom Lee. My hat's off to Tom Lee. He's buying Ethereum like it's going out of style. Great, no problem. What he's doing is he's doing ATM sales because his market to net asset value is 1.3. He's literally diluting the shares, selling shares at the market, and then immediately going and buying Ethereum. So he's basically doing it and creating a yield for himself, which what Michael Saylor started doing with strategy about a couple of years ago. But then MNAV is something that all of us need to follow and understand. When you start drawing lines on BMNR, SBET, and whatever, or MicroStrategy, means nothing. Now, if you're going to draw lines, if you want to draw lines, draw it on Ethereum and figure out the MNAV and then trade accordingly. Because BMNR is not a stock. It's a stock, obviously. It's a common stock, but it's completely dependent on the Ethereum price, minute to minute, second by second. BMNR is not going to announce earnings every quarter and say, oh, our earnings sequentially went up 40%. That's why the stock shoots up or whatever, right? They don't have earnings. What they're going to have earnings pretty soon because they're staking it, like SBET, Sharplink Gaming is staking it. They earned, I think, close to 4,400 extra Ethereum by staking it. And that's why Tom Lee's going to do. I get all this. But when you start looking or technically analyzing BMNR, SBET, and some of these other treasury asset companies, you're not doing anyone any favors. If Ethereum is not substantially going to go higher, BMNR by itself is not going to go to 80 from 60. It's just not going to happen. Now, if Ethereum goes to 5,500, maybe BMNR will get to 80 or 6,000 or whatever, right? Same thing with Sharplink Gaming. I'm in all of them with defined risk downside and all the upside potential, obviously. I've been posting my positions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the community page of the YouTube channel. Feel free, go check it out. None of this, by the way, is trading, financial, or investing advice. What I do is very risky. It works for me, my account size and whatever not, but don't be YOLOing into BMNR if you don't think Ethereum is going to 6,000 by the end of the year, because it's just not going to work. Definitely not going to work, because that multiple to net asset value or market to net asset value level of 1.3 is going to just stay there. In fact, on BMNR, it was under 1. On SBET at the moment is under 1. I am in the stock called the DeFi Development, which is the one of the top Solana treasury asset companies. It's at 0.84. I'd rather buy that than go buy BMNR at 1.3 or strategy at 1.3. I don't think any of these should be selling at a premium. You can buy Ethereum cheaper instead of buying BMNR. Simple as that. So I like to buy things at a discount. So I like to buy $1 at 85 cents. Well, that's why I'm in the FDV or put credit spreads on the FDV. That's why I'm in SBET, because it's right at 0.98, 0.99. There are a few other ones which are under 1 MNAV. Go do your research, find those out, buy those. Okay, because, you know, look, everybody thinks Ethereum is going to 6,000, okay, or 8,000, 20,000, whatever. What if it doesn't? Now what? You're just going to go sideways. Okay, yeah, you can sell very expensive calls on BMNR and lower your cost basis, and you can do all kinds of things. I get that. You can create a yield on top of yield. But to me, drawing lines, oh, look, it's breaking out and doing this, it's not doing anything. It's just moving exactly point for point with Ethereum. If Ethereum sells off 300 points, BMNR is going to 55 or 52. Simple. SBET is going to go down to back to 18 or 17 and a half.